And welcome to another episode of Schiffbauer Over Rocks. I got the who's who of South Central PA on today from a media account executive standpoint, David Bruno.
How you doing, Paul?
I appreciate you coming on, man.
Absolutely. It's good to see you. This looks like you guys have a lot of fun doing these things.
Oh,
here.
for those watching, and his episode I think will drop a week before yours, or pretty close. I just had Jared Fetro, You Relax Moving On, and then he had me and Bruno laughing hysterically off camera as Bruno was coming in to shoot this one. It was a lot of fun.
Funny guy. Got the don the belts, show the championship a little bit.
Woo! I like to tell folks, I was telling you a little off camera, it's just like, imagine if we're at a cigar lounge, normally, without cameras, or you just at Flinchies.
Yes.
Where I've actually met you before I actually formally met you in a former life, which is really funny to say.
Yes, out there on the Flinchies deck there in the summertime.
I hear they clubbed it in.
They have indeed have not been back there since they've done that. So I am definitely looking forward to checking that out.
I know. I got to get up there soon. So it's a nice spot to hang out at.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's really about one of the only main decks in the Harrisburg area. I don't think, unless you go down by the river down there and docksides and all that stuff.
Yeah, that ain't me either. That ain't me. But hey, you've been doing marketing and sales a long time. Even before we got synced up. You're a veteran in the space, locally, regionally. How did you first get into sales? I'm curious. I know a little bit, but just for viewers out there who might want to know more about Bruno.
Bruno getting into sales. I am very much, or have been very much, an introvert.
That is a fun fact.
Yes, when I was in school and whatnot, I was very, very quiet and kind of kept to myself. So during college, I did about every telemarketing job that I possibly could, man.
What was the most outrageous one?
The most outrageous one was when I was doing for the university. I went to Southern Illinois University in Everettsville, right outside St. Louis. And so if you don't know, the fault line that goes through there, the New Madrid Fault, goes up and runs down in through the Arkansas and Tennessee and up through Missouri and Illinois. And it was the site of the largest earthquake in the country.
I did not know that, actually.
It shifted the directional flow of the Mississippi at one point.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and most people do not. So what I did is I called people at home right in the middle of dinner hour at all hours of night up until probably about 9, 10 o'clock. I didn't even know you could call people that late, but I did through Arkansas, Tennessee.
I feel that's hit or miss in terms of
and you just ask them, hey, are you aware of the fault line? Are you prepared? Do you have water, rations, and all this stuff? And people are out of their mind. Some people I literally thought if they could have came through the phone line and choked me out, they probably would have. and again, that is the idea of why I did that stuff. Because I'm saying, what more is somebody going to say to me? Besides physically assaulting me, what is somebody else going to say?
Rather than F you and hang the phone up.
Exactly.
And it's really funny you say that, David. It's like you're an introvert. You really were an introvert back then in college.
Yes.
It sounded like you got out of your comfort zone quite a bit during those experiences, with those jobs early on.
I did that. I set up, family portrait photography for.
Get out.
No, for Olin Mills. I did those.
That's cool.
I did set up financial planning and consultations for financial consultants. My first foray out into actual door-to-door sales was when I did for a water softening company. So I set up the appointments, and then we go out there and do the water test, the soap test, and all that good stuff.
Your water's got this quality based on pH levels. You need a Brita filter or you need the softener.
Yes, indeed. So I did all that so that I could get into sales, and that was it. And so kind of came out of my shell a little bit there, and I'm still very much an introvert, as we were talking before. A lot of times when it gets to larger groups, I still struggle a little bit. It takes me a little bit more time to prep myself up and gear up. But I'm getting better. 3, 4 people, I'm aces. But
no, you're solid. If anyone who knows of David Bruno out there, it's he's the guy who's going to come up to you if you're at a small networking event, 20, 30, 40, 50 people. He's going to introduce himself and ask who are you and are you having a good time?
Yes.
Even if he has no idea who you are. I've seen it time and time again. It's really cool how, and I feel I don't know if it's intentional on your part. I'm sure there's a lot of people who were in your shoes and man, you're just making them comfortable because that was you at one point who might have been totally uncomfortable.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. And I don't know if you've seen, I do these networking. We do a lot of
I've been to a few
networking.
of them.
We're in the same circles. So I do the business professionals of Harrisburg and Central PA. And one of the things that I've done there, I went over to Michelle Krieger's office, which is at her State Farm office. So she hosted one for me.
I know of her. She's very sweet.
She is.
I have not met her formally in person yet, but I know of her. People have nothing but good things to say about her.
Yeah, she's very cool. She's very cool. And she had, for the event, she had like a little photo station with a little photo booth there and a 6-foot cutout of Jared. So now,
Okay. Is that how the cutout of you came to be?
Yeah.
I was wondering, like,
and I said Jared, I mean Jake from State Farm.
Okay.
The 6-foot cutout. So I did one. I said, hey, who did this for you? And he was there at the event. So I just said, hey, would you do one of me? So we took a picture right there, and then he did one of me. Because when I do these events, I'm never in the pictures. I'm always walking around talking to people. I'm taking the
You're
pictures.
actually engaged.
I'm engaged,
and
then I'm the roaming photographer myself, so I'm taking the pictures. I'm never in them. But people do have some fun with the 6-foot cutout.
Oh, I've seen the photos. I still need to get one. Like, I've been to at least like 2 of your events, maybe 2 or 3. But like, I need to get a photo with a cutout. Damn it.
Yes. Yeah, I think the one you went to and we had it at the Potato Coop in Harrisburg.
That's a really cool spot.
That was the debut of the 6-foot cutout. As a matter
Okay,
of fact.
I did not know.
And you did. That was the debut.
Okay, I
Yes.
did not know it was the debut.
And I remember the little girl when I first set it up there. A little girl came in there with her mom, and the little girl kept looking at it, and then looked over at me and looked over, and she tugged on her mom. She goes, is that him? Yeah, it was funny. So people have a good time with it. But yeah, sales is fun. I just like the idea of getting out there, much like you do.
Yeah.
Coming up with some ideas that are going to help some people. People want to make money. They want to grow their business more often than not, and to be able to kind of show them some ideas, tips, tricks, techniques. Work within budgetary constraints and where they are and what they're looking to do, and being able to help them get from point A to point B where they want. I mean, that's what it's about, man. I take great pride in doing that and being able to do it.
It's a huge educational piece.
Yeah.
It's just like you're almost like parting the seas as Moses. Not saying we're literally Moses, but it's weird. Like sometimes when you share stuff, even if you can't immediately work with someone, it's just like, oh, I never thought I could do that for this price, or like I never thought about pursuing this recommendation. Mm-hmm. It's really rewarding in that regard.
Yes. And I will tell you, there's like even doing some of these networking events. One of my sales jobs was I did copiers for Ricoh years back when document
You got a sales background all over the place.
When document management was just kind of starting to come into play. So there, I'm aging myself on that stuff. But
he's not a day over 35, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, right.
I'm older than him.
But when we did that, I came across an office the other day. I was there and I was talking to him. We had an appointment, and I could not help but notice they had one of those mobile storage units out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And it was freezing cold outside. It had just snowed and whatnot. And I could see 3 or 4 people coming out of this. And I said, do you mind? I said, it's just really wearing on me. I said, it has nothing to do with what we're going to be talking about. But I said, what's going on over there? And he said, those are my salespeople. He said, they're in there. They got to get contracts and things. And it just really struck me. I said,
they're in a shed?
I said, you do realize you're paying for the mobile storage bin plus whatever time and energy your reps are going out there in cold. And I said, I think it's probably better now than it is in the summertime when it's probably got to be, 120 degrees in there. And he goes, oh yeah. He said, they're out there, roll the sleeves up.
What was his reason behind this?
I truly don't believe.
It was just one of those bizarre things you just had to acknowledge.
Correct. Yeah. I said, I've been in this space, and this is where we got started with document management when it was actually expensive. I said, it's next to nothing now to have those things cataloged and itemized. I said, it's very, very cost effective. And it was like a new concept to him. I mentioned this to him. I said, hey, maybe get in touch with, document management provider or somebody like that. And he's like, he's just shocked. He was astounded. It's like it was a new concept to him. Mm-hmm. So it just struck me as funny.
Do you view sales as something where you've had to learn more technical skills, or do you feel like over the years have learned more people skills?
Combination of both, man. And that's a good question. And I think that
I'm just curious from your perspective.
From my perspective, is one of the things I like about sales is that I can learn a little bit more than a little about a lot of things. I want to be able to know how to talk the talk. I want to know, what some of the key indicators for a business are, and just know how to speak the language. But I don't have like to talk to heating and cooling HVAC people. I don't have to know how to go out there and install an HVAC.
Oh, I tell folks straight up, I'm like, when I want you to finish your point, I'm like, if we're collaborating with you, I'm not an expert in HVAC.
Right.
Like, we're going to do our market research. We know about the trades because we work a lot of home service folks. But, like, this is a collaborative process if we choose to work together. Like, you're going to have to fill us in a little bit on this.
Yeah.
But back to your point.
And that's the point. I mean, I tell people that. I said, look, I can talk about this. I know what these things do. I know the applications for them. But if you ask me to install one of these things, I said, my knowledge is very limited. I'm not, you might be able to hand me
I'm the opposite of a home service guy myself.
Yeah, I said, if it can't be done with the screwdriver and the pliers, I said, I'm probably not going to be able to take care of it. You know what I mean? I said, I'm probably not going to be able to do that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's that's another story too. That's funny.
I share it right now.
With the sales.
We got time.
I also did packaging for many years. So I was
packaging's interesting. I
was like a box. I did a box sales,
like corrugated
boxes.
Okay.
Yes. And there was the one time, they part of my job was to go out there if they had issues with they had mechanical packaging equipment at the client locations, and sometimes they get all jammed up, and I had to make sure the boxes were feeding through properly to set them up. And I go out there, and I didn't know what to do with these machines. I'm looking, and the one guy said, "Can you help us with this?" I rolled my sleeves up because I'm like in a suit, and I said, "You have like a pliers and stuff." And I went there, and I just
Stop.
and I unscrewed the thing there on the lever, raised it a little bit, moved up, and I said, "Give it a shot," And I have no idea.
But you gave it an attempt with a reason without messing up the machine at least.
Well, I hopefully not. Yeah, yeah. But and I said, and there was a young kid there, and there were two of these older guys, and I said, they said, what do you think it was? I said, well, I believe the flux capacitor had an issue. And,
all right, Marty McFly.
And the kid, the kid was like, he's like, that's what I told him. I told him that's what. And these guys are laughing. He's acting like he knows what he was talking about, what was going on. He had no clue. It was funny.
That's funny.
So that's funny. Yeah. But that's the thing about sales, man. You meet a lot of different people doing a lot of different things, a lot of different backgrounds, and you just learn a little bit and pieces about a lot of different industries. And the more you do them, the better you get and the more you know about them.
What's been your favorite niche or vertical? Even if it's not anything current, that a really fun time in your sales career where you're working with particular folks in an industry or a particular client?
The thing I really liked, as you know, I love the marketing. Yeah. That's what I've been doing for the last number of years now. I think it's great because it helps businesses directly drive revenue. Mm-hmm. One of the more fun jobs I've had in sales was office products. I sold office products, pens, staples, promotional
swag,
products, little swag. Yes. But I tried to do anything I could to differentiate myself. Mm-hmm. And we had to go around and hand out catalogs. Go to the customers, and most of the people would just hand a catalog. Hey, here you go. If you find stuff you like.
And it's not even a sale. To me, that's like a borderline, not even a soft sale. It's just like there's no attempt going on there.
Correct.
David.
So what I would do is I would find at least 10 products that I liked.
Okay.
And I would just fold the tab. Just something as simple as that. I would just fold the tab, the page, and I'd point it out.
I think this might be good for you.
Yeah. Whether it's a highlighter or the one that people always noticed was those staplers where you could, when they first came out, and you could just tap it with your finger and it would just staple through about 50 pages.
I can see you too, I'm presuming this, and you tell me if I'm wrong. A lot of other folks in your trades are buying this right now.
Yeah. And
just lead them in, what's going on.
Exactly. And so I had fun with it. So I pointed that stuff out to them. I made it more than just handing stuff out. And that's what you have to do. Even what we're doing now, you have to differentiate yourself, man. It's competitive. There are a lot of people doing what we're doing, man. And it's not.
Yeah, because we're in the same space. And I talked about your sales career. It really truly has transitioned into more of a marketing.
And by the way, thanks for this for the screwball. This is my favorite beverage, as a matter of fact.
Well, and you are quite welcome. And folks, when you are a guest on Schiffbauer Consulting Group, we have riders. So we have a little contact form. I'm not always perfect. I know Zach Osterman wanted Macallan, but he got a nice Woodford and a nice Johnny Walker alternative. Or it was Angel's Envy, not Woodford. So I had alternatives for him. But you in particular, you're like, peanut butter whiskey screwball sounds good. I'm like,
yes.
Yeah, now I got to come to the table with that for him.
Nice.
So I've seen you mention that just because we're friends on Facebook.
Yes.
You out drinking with friends before. I'm like, I gotta get a bottle for him today.
Love the screwball. Yes.
Good stuff.
That's good stuff. So appreciate that. So where were we?
So we were talking about this marketing be competitive now.
Yes. There's
yourself.
so many people out there doing what we're doing. And it's just a matter of your personal brand. And that's why I do these things like what you're doing with this, with the Schiffbauer Rocks. I mean, this promotes you and it promotes the businesses you're talking to, whether they're really working with you or not. You're giving them a platform and you're giving your own personal brand. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah,
Same thing.
You've been doing it a lot longer than me.
You got to do, you got to you want to try
events.
and get people to understand who you are before you get to them.
I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah. And so I do that with the Who's Who with David Bruno. I haven't done it for a while. I've kind of gotten away from it a little bit.
That's okay.
But I'm planning on getting back into it now. And this year you've kind of got me hyped up here with this.
Oh, no. I'll be happy we can talk off camera, stuff that we can work together on.
Yes, indeed.
So I think it'd be cool to do an event with you.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. And where was I going with that?
Well, I want to touch on the whole marketing space.
Yes.
Where you started really sales focused and you're now more marketing focused. I'm in the marketing space, but I really think the two are interconnected. That's where I feel like conversation that I've had with you in the past and just in general, what I hear people hear about you, which are overwhelmingly positive. It's just the fact that like you connect the sales to the marketing, even if they don't fully realize it.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the thing.
And that's key where I think it's for us to bring to the table to like potential clients and like helping people out in the community.
And like you were saying that, hey, my technical expertise in these things, we're going to need to collaborate a little bit. Yeah. And that's where I think a lot of people in our space, they don't really take the time to understand a lot of the verticals that they're dealing with. They just go in there knowing what they know about their business and their product line and the things that we work with for our clients, but not really caring about them. So I'm trying to make sure that I educate myself on these businesses so that when I'm talking to them, they know I'm not just another marketing guy out there just peddling what I do and not really knowing anything about what they're doing.
Because I know you hate it and I hate it when like we get typecast.
Yes.
As like, I literally have it in our intake form, David, at this point. Tell us about marketing vendors you previously worked with. Because like we just want to avoid it. I literally have wording. Me and like my team has developed like this onboarding form, like welcome aboard form.
Yes.
Like process. And we're like, we sometimes seem like these relationships can be viewed as like bad ex-girlfriends. Tell us about it so we can prevent the same things from happening.
Yeah.
Because it's true. Like people judge
that's a very
you and I without even actually getting to know us and how we can help them out.
Correct.
Unfairly, but I get where they're coming from if they got burned or otherwise, you know?
Well, it's like I always tell everybody. I say, look, all marketing works to a degree. Some things just work better than others at different points in time. And that's it. So it doesn't matter whether you're doing an outside billboard, whether you're doing digital marketing, whether you're doing TV, traditional print, newspapers, magazines, whatever it is. It'll all work. It all flows together to provide you the lift you need to get to where you want to be. Some things just work better in different markets and different industries.
To what extent? What's your budget? And what's your goals?
Correct.
Because I'm a firm believer too. It's just like it all can work, but it's where are you at, where you're trying to go, and what's the budget to justify it.
Yeah.
Because it all has a place. A lot of folks when they're first starting off, start small, scale up. That's what I say with folks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really fun in that regard.
And then I tell the people too. I said, look, let's just grab a coffee. Let's just talk like what we're talking here, have a conversation, see what's going on. If there are opportunities for us to work together, that's great. And if there's not, hey, it's all right. No harm, no foul. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. At least I'll know what you're about. You'll know what I'm about. And if something comes down the line, then we're there. And that's really all it's about. There's no hard squeeze there, and especially during networking. Sometimes I think people think that
they're like hard sell you. It's like it works for some folks, and I get it.
Yes.
Especially the older folks, where like if they're still wired like that, it's kind of the thing where like networking is a lot like dating, where like you hear about like these guys doing crazy things or sending crazy messages to girls. Mm-hmm. Well, it might seem dumb in theory, but they're saying it because it's worked in some capacity for them.
Right.
Even if it's not the best approach,
Yeah. And I mean, the networking, I just go there and I just try and establish some relationships, have a good time, tell some jokes with people, have some conversations like this. And I feel that the working together, the business relationships are going to be a byproduct of just establishing
it's way better
some good
to build trust.
Yeah.
And I was telling Jared earlier, in general, it's just like I brought him to a recent networking event with me. I'm like, these kind of people are here. If this makes sense for you, come along with me as a guest. If not, no worries. Mm-hmm. Pretty much was the extent of the conversation because I don't want to waste his time.
Yeah.
And it's like same thing with like if I meet someone at an event, All right, well, get to know a little bit about them in business. I'm not gonna hard sell them. One, two. It's like, all right, I don't think they're even really gonna be a fit for us right now, based on where they're at. That's okay. Back to your point with the coffee, it's like, how can we help each other out? Or at least, cast a net. We have a relationship now.
Exactly.
So even if I know within 15 minutes, David, if like I can't immediately help him or serve him, who do you need to know? And thinking about maybe a connection I can make within reason.
Exactly. I mean, some people, they say, well, it's not even worth my time to talk to them. I totally disagree.
I totally disagree.
I mean,
if it's a relevant connection, then
the more people you know,
is.
and you never can tell who's talking to who, and like I just had a conversation the other day with somebody. I had no idea they were involved in as many things as what they do. If I was to go in there and just assume that they were just the marketing manager for this company, I would have been, I'd have had no idea. They are involved in so many other things, from charitable organizations to they have their own businesses they're running. They're looking to expand and grow in so many different things, and they're involved in everything and know a lot of people.
It really is, and I mentioned earlier with networking, it's a lot like dating. Mm-hmm. You think you know someone until you actually get to know them more. You go on more networking events or you have a one-on-one with them, and they start to trust you, then they tell you more about them.
Yes. And I think these things are great. I think they're fun, because you catch people in a different light versus just seeing them at the office.
I was talking to my buddy Travis. I went to a York Young Professionals event the other night. He's like on the board there. I'm like, to me, like that's like me. I'm a single guy for those out there. I'm like the Bruce Wayne of York County, but like middle class and a bad hairline. David's got way better hair than me. I would. That's the only thing I'm immensely envious of.
He's trying not to laugh over here when you said I'm like the Bruce Wayne of York County.
But he's not as wealthy and a bad hairline. Bruno's got way better hair than me. But now I was talking to Travis, all jokes aside. I'm just like, I live for like going out on like a Monday or night for a steak at White Rose, or like going to an event like yours on on a Thursday night, and you getting to meet people, and like if you have a really good connection, okay, how can I help this person out? Or like, oh, awesome, we hit it off, we're having a follow-up meeting.
Yeah, absolutely.
To me, that's what gets me going. It's fun.
It is. It's very fun. And like you said, to your point, you're not going to be able to do something for everybody. They just don't. Some people just don't see the value in the investments that are going to be required to get to where they want to be.
That's okay.
And that's fine. But they still probably know other people that do have it together a little bit more and are a little bit where you're looking to deal with. And that's fine.
It's so funny. And it's like LinkedIn has like made it like a structure standpoint with your first, second, and third degree network.
Yeah.
We all should do that like off LinkedIn. Like, who are the people I know?
Yeah.
Who are the people Paul or Bruno knows? Mm-hmm. And who are the people that they know that they also know that like I want to get it to know? That's a huge key.
Absolutely.
In building a network.
Yeah. Like I still on LinkedIn, I still get the I really try and observe now. I'm trying to figure out how to best monetize LinkedIn. It's still
I'm the same way.
It's challenging.
Facebook's my thing. Like I've noticed with you, like LinkedIn is not my bag.
Well, like you've seen, people respond to goofiness, and I don't really care who it is. If my biggest post on LinkedIn has gotten more views, and it still continues to get views today.
What's the post?
A couple of years ago, I said, "Hey, I'm just talking." It was in January, right after the pandemic, and I said, "Hey, we're just talking about some marketing strategy for this year, trying to see what's going on with some marketing trends with our sombrero Godzilla in the office." It was Godzilla with a sombrero, and I took a picture with him, and I said, "We're talking marketing," and that thing, people, and I said, something so silly and ridiculous as that. And I don't know if you saw my post the other day where I was.
You gotta tell it for people out there. We might
where
have
I said
Marty post-production put it up.
I'm behind the couch with my eyes peeking over.
I think I did quickly see that.
Like
what's going on there with Bruno?
Yeah, and I said, here I am looking for new clients and new guests.
At the ABC 27 studio. That was hilarious.
Yeah, and I said, here I am looking for my next guests and my next customers. You know what I mean? My next clients. And it's ridiculous. And
that stuff gets people's attention.
Yeah, I think people just think they just think it's funny, and it's different because not everybody's doing that. And one of the strategies, if I will put it out there for LinkedIn, and it's not just the strategy, I just think people will disengage if everything you post is business related.
100%.
So that's why I'll post some things about business, And then I'll sit there and I'll say, hey, I'm here hanging some Christmas decorations with my pop over here, you know, and here he is, and he's putting the decorations, and I just, just kind of check in and see how things are going.
I think I had a conversation with a gentleman earlier this week, similar in age to you. I know you're a little older than me. He's a little older than me.
Right.
And I was telling him, I'm like, overall corporate culture, what we were taught and brought up on, and then like the current power structures in various companies and like organizations, it's still boomer-esque.
Yeah.
Where it's like our parents or like my grandparents.
Right.
Where that's going away. These companies, like, they're retiring, they're selling off, where there's a certain way to do things. But then you have people like us, and more people are engaged in social media. People want to resonate with real people at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where I feel like the goofiness comes into play within reason. And like
within reason,
doing things that are a little unorthodox, what you're taught in business school or what you're taught your first couple jobs. It's not the best way necessarily to engage with folks.
Yeah. Because it comes across as just being canned and...
I call it boomer talk at networking events, and I know you know
Boom,
what I know. No,
boomer
seriously.
talk.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Or hey, David, how you doing? It's like nice to see you. The weather's kind of decent out there.
You're sounding like Richard Nixon right now, by the way.
So let me know if you need anything from any campaign help. I gotta go talk to this other person now. Can talk.
Yeah.
That's how it is with a lot of older folks. Some of them are great, but I've been so turned off.
I don't even remember who those people are at the end of the day. No,
you don't. They get lost in the sauce.
I just recognize them as the person who walked around.
Richard Nixon. That's funny.
The handshake and the card drop and then out. And I'm like, I don't even remember.
No
one
remembers those people at the end of the day. I have heard people. I know you've shared with me off camera before about little quirks like people pick up from you. People. I'm not wearing the white shoes today, but people mention the shoes, which is a little more trendy.
And your sock game is on point today, too. Look at
you
that.
love these. My brother actually gave me these.
Sock game is on point today. Look at that.
I smoke cigars and know things.
Nice. Look at that. Look at that.
But then, like, the steak night that you and I have been on together, it's like people bring up, like, it's a thing now associated with my personal brand. Oh, let's get a steak. Mm-hmm. It started off, funny enough, David,
the Monday Night White Rose, right?
Certain people were like, they didn't want to pay for certain services I provided. And this one guy in particular, I'm like, yeah, we could do business together. So like, I'm going to dinner by myself. You're welcome to come. And he came. He bought me a drink. Kudos to him. He did. I never asked for anything.
Uh-huh.
And then it became a trend where like I'm just meeting up with people, networking. Where it's like we don't talk about business.
Yeah.
Transactionally unless they want to.
Right.
It's just like a nice, fun avenue, which is kind of old school throwback, with like these agencies and like this golden era advertising, whining and dining clients, or just going out networking. I think we lost that with COVID a little bit.
Exactly. But you go out there, you just have some good conversations. You just meet people.
It's fun.
And like you said, when it comes down to it, hey, if you do something with me, that's cool. And if it's not, show me. Maybe you can introduce me to some people that do, or down the line, maybe something will change. You never can tell.
Mm-mm.
And so that's what it's all about. It's just about meeting people. But I will say, time management, man, is tough.
Oh, it's difficult.
Time management is very difficult. By the time people ask me, they say, "Man, you're out there doing all this networking, you're at all these events. How do you have time to actually do anything?" And I said, "Oh, believe me, I have to make time to put campaigns together and manage my customers, and my clients and stuff." I said, "It's not easy. It takes time.
It's not. You don't see everything that we put out. Like you put out a lot, I put out a lot, but there's working weird hours sometimes."
And there's some of my buddies, some like my IT buddies and that, who just sit at their chair. I mean, they've got a good career, they've got good stuff going on, but they sit back in the back corner, and they tell me, they say, "Man, Bruno, you've got it made doing there. You're just out there, wheeling and dealing and whining and dining and all." And I said, "It's not about that, man." I said, I'm up sometimes till 10, 11 o'clock at night.
You do the paperwork. You have to do the work still.
Yeah, I'm getting up at 5 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning at that point in time doing that.
You
or
have
I'm
to
doing
do
it
the
on a Saturday morning like I did this morning. Yeah. And so I told him, I said, "Yeah, it's fun. It's got its flexibility. It's things like that. I am able to get out and about. But behind the scenes, the stuff has to get done. It's not all about just networking and talking to people. You talk to them, you get things going. you need to produce and get things and make things happen. And I said, there has to be time for that. And
100%.
Most of the time it's after hours on a weekend, and
that's okay. I've literally transitioned recently in my thought process where my Monday through Friday now, Sunday through Thursday, and I'll do stuff like this, which is still work related on like Friday or Saturday.
Right.
Or I'll still have certain meetings or meetups on Friday, Saturday, but it's a lower gear. Mm-hmm. Where like that way it's just like in my headspace, I have a weekend, quote unquote.
But that's good stuff though, and you've managed to balance that because you enjoy doing this stuff.
Oh,
I enjoy this.
I live for it.
I mean, a lot of people sit there, man. You did this in the middle of your Saturday. Yeah, I think it's great.
No, I appreciate you coming down.
I was looking forward to coming down here and seeing shit.
I know you made a post on Facebook the other day. I'm like, yes.
I'm going down to see shit. I'm going down there and seeing Schiff a little bit on Saturday. I haven't seen you for a little bit. You know what I mean? And it's fun to me. Mm-hmm. And I have a good time. And it's work related, it's business related. But on the other side, you
made a new connection today.
I did, but on the other side, I enjoy getting caught up with you and seeing what's going on and just having. And it's not all just paperwork. Yeah. Now I will say, typically on the weekends, when I'm doing things on the weekends, it is revenue generating driven. I am not doing spreadsheets and things like that on the weekend.
That's what, like I said, my Fridays and Saturdays. It's more like this stuff.
Yes,
shooting content or networking or really just top level new meetups. Like I'm not like
or I'm not
getting in the weeds looking at like docs or campaigns.
Yeah, I'm saying who can I work with? Let me look at a different. Let me look at a different industry. Yes,
different frame of thinking.
Yeah, but paperwork and all that, I'm not doing that on the weekends. That is not a weekend.
Sunday, I prep for the week at this point.
Yeah,
where I might do a little paperwork, but that's within reason. And then Monday through Thursday is my gauntlet.
That's good. That's good stuff, man. And it is. So you have to balance it that way. But yeah, time management's probably the biggest challenge of any of this. There's the two things. It's getting new appointments. getting in front of people is not always easy. No matter what we're doing, this kind of stuff helps, man. But it's not easy because a lot of people just don't trust salespeople. They just don't. They just think.
No. I joke with folks. In terms of salespeople, like the degree of trust, you have used car salesmen, car salesmen, realtors, and then you have like telemarketers and marketers.
Yeah, it's
no, I know. I hate to put us in that category just because of industry reputation.
I know.
It sucks, but it is what it is.
It does. So that's the most challenging part of what we do. It's not actually putting the campaigns together. That's the easy part. Making stuff work, it takes time and energy and effort, but that's the easy part. The toughest part is managing the day, trying to figure out, okay, if I'm going to these networking events, I'm talking to all these people, I've got these meetings.
It's like coaching a football game.
It is.
Like I never played sports like in like high school or like middle school. Didn't play really sports in general. Yeah. But you got to like time management, clock management. Like, what are you doing? Like you got a goal. We got to keep hitting it.
Mm-hmm. And that's the toughest part, I think, of what we do from day to day is just trying to.
Yeah, I think that's the thing we don't like. We're talking about it now. Like a lot of folks in our space don't talk about it at all though, because they're so overwhelmed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people just think it's all fun. They're like, man, why don't you just out there talking?
I joke with my long-term
behind the scenes, man. I don't sleep well. Sometimes I don't sleep well.
I'm like, my life would be perfect if I could just drink and get steak dinners with people every day. But that's not the case, and that's okay. That probably should not happen anytime soon.
If I could just have some drinks and some steak dinners with people all the time.
Sign checks, manage relationship. No. I do a lot of work, client work still.
Check a box, and then the program and the campaign just works the way you want it to, right? Yeah.
Like you said, it's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that like people don't. I showcase it from time to time, but like you don't see it,
right?
With us being out and about.
Yeah.
What are you most excited about this year?
This year, I will tell you, I've gotten on board with ABC 27, as you know.
I think it's a great
thing. It's very similar to the marketing that I've done before, but it's just on a broadcast platform now, and I'm having a great time with it, man. I mean, the studio's cool. It's a very different audience, and the people there are. I mean, it's a great team. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and it does open a lot of doors. People are really more willing to talk to me now, and so it does help. But 2024, I just want to get in front of more people. I want to establish some more relationships, and I just want to see some more businesses making some money and succeeding and get from point A to point B quicker than what they are now. And that's about it. And a lot of big things I'm focusing on are probably the same things you do: home improvement, roofing, siding.
Yeah.
Solar is a big one these days.
Everyone and their brother, these solar companies are coming into this market, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. Landscaping, hardscaping, the pest control and all that stuff coming up on spring. So it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it, man. It's just a way of getting out there. Same thing, schools, finance. I deal with all that stuff, but those are my focus areas. I'm trying to be a little bit tighter in some of the verticals and some of the industries I'm working with than spread myself too thin.
It's just too. It's leaning into what you're really good at. Like we talked about earlier with like sales and marketing in general. It's just like when you come into a sales situation, you're not an expert in the business.
Yeah.
But if you got enough reps and experience working with certain folks, then lean into it.
Exactly.
And I think it's more fun too when you can lean into scenarios because it's not like even if you are the expert when you're working with someone when they're asking for a solution, there always is a little hesitation if you really don't know the background, what they provide.
Right.
Like, hey, I've worked with X amount of contractors in this discipline before. You can almost kind of game plan, like, I've seen this work for XYZ reasons before.
Yeah.
It didn't work when they didn't do this.
Right.
And that's very valuable.
Yeah. And you say it's not necessarily going to work for you in your situation either. However, but I do have some experience in trying some different things, and I understand what the results are should look like. And so that's more the key right there. Is it going to work for each and every contractor we're talking to, or each and every HVAC specialist? Maybe not.
No.
But like you said, at least you put those things in play and you say, look, I've dealt with this stuff before. Just a little bit matter of tweaking some things here and there, and we're going to make it work for you. And that's it. And if it doesn't work the first go around, we just keep on rolling, and we're going to get it. You know, I'm telling you that you can trust me to get from one point to another. We're going to get there. You know, and that's it. So it's fun. I mean, there are some challenges that go along with it. You know, it's not always the best, but the way I figure it too is if you never have any negative experiences with your clients, then
you don't know everything.
You don't know what's going on because then that's probably not being straight with you to begin with.
No, I'm a firm believer of that because it's at that point, it's just like, what's going on here?
Yeah, everything cannot be just perfect.
Even if I'm bringing up the dating analogy again. Even when say you're working with someone 1, 2, 3 years, same thing. You're dating someone 1, 2, 3 years. You're gonna have a hiccup or two along the way.
Yeah,
I don't care how good it is at the start.
You're right. Just let me know what they are. We'll fix them. We'll work together on it.
And then you brought it up earlier, communication, brother.
Yes.
That was a great point. That's like the biggest thing in our line of work is communication.
Yeah, because if you don't have any issues that you can fix or repair, then somebody else is going to be able to probably come in behind you and do that. So it's just a matter of, and the way I always figure this too, like there are people, they say, man, you share a lot of stuff on social media. You put all your clients, you tag people. And I said, and they said, well, why do you do that? I said, look, the internet's a big place, man. I said, there's nothing, none of these people are like hidden in a corner. They're not mysteries to people. And I said, if somebody can come in behind me and do a better job for one, then more power to them. That's a learning from me.
100%. I think the same way. If someone they wholeheartedly believe if we deliver results for them in the past, that they have a better option, good luck, and I actually do hope it works out.
Correct. Yeah.
Learning experience. What did go wrong?
Yeah, we were talking about this before, and it's like I feel as though I bring value and I'm confident in what I do, and I feel as though I'm one of the best people in this business that does what I do. And if somebody can take the information that they see from me on a social media post or whatever, and then backdoor me and come
good
around.
luck.
And I said, hey,
game on. That's why I tell folks.
Yeah.
Game on. Game on.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I've seen the messages because like I'm a little more in depth of accounts at this point with like having access to like Facebook accounts and whatnot.
Yes.
Sometimes I see freelancers and other agencies message our clients. I'm like, they can respond if they want, but like I see it. You know, it's super interesting. Yeah. It's really dating at the end of the day. The client service business.
It is. It's fun. And then
I joke that I have 25 girlfriends now.
Again, he's like,
some really are hot and heavy for me. Some are a little distant right now for whatever reasons, and some are just like they come up out of the blue when they need something. That's okay, as long as we're doing good by them. Great.
You know the one that's going to stick with me here is the Bruce Wayne of York County. That's the Bruce Wayne of York County. That's what's going to stick with me.
That's why I immediately downplayed myself. But he's lower middle class and has he's got a bad hairline. I'm humanizing the situation. I don't think of myself like that. That was funny though.
That was funny. That's where you heard the chuckles back there. The Bruce Wayne. That was a good one. The Bruce Wayne of York. That's me. Oh, that is some good stuff, man.
So networking, I know this is going to come out like around the April timeframe. So your next 2 networking events.
We've got coming up next Wednesday, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, 28th. We're with Casey Renee Grimm. She's going to be talking about, I know she's getting some things going with Rise Beauty, and we're going to be doing that over there at...
she's a guest on here, too.
Yeah. Yeah, Casa Marrera, we're going to be doing that.
I love that place.
I'm looking forward to checking it out.
You haven't been there yet?
I have not.
Oh,
I was
man.
trying to go.
You're in for a treat.
They had their...
The food proportions are awesome.
Didn't the York Buying Coalition, right?
Yeah.
The Buying Coalition. They had the ribbon cutting and all that stuff last week,
Carmen,
right?
yeah.
Carmen, he's a good dude, too. I think we're going to try and...
You guys should
try and get together on some of these events as well, because he just puts on some great events.
I would be even down with just Avengers Justice League it. All of us coming together.
Avengers Justice League, yeah.
Bruce Wayne with the bad hairline comes together. you got Superman over here.
That's right. I think we've got the characters down now. Bruce Wayne with the bad hairline and Superman.
Or you could be Aquaman. You are from California.
Aquaman.
If you want to own it or not.
And when we're talking about movies, that last Aquaman movie, I will say,
I haven't seen it. Is it good or is it trash?
I was getting that. It's probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen. But probably one of the worst ones I've ever seen. But Momoa though is hilarious. He's
a good actor.
He is hilarious.
He is entertaining.
From seeing what he did in what was
I first saw him in
Game of Thrones, yes.
Where he was brutal in that.
Correct.
Like he was an unlikable character.
So the way he does the Aquaman, and then what he does in the Fast and Furious series.
I haven't seen the Fast movie with him yet, but I love those movies. Bruno, like
laughing again. Now, what triggered you on that one? What triggered you there?
Marty, you're off camera, but
come on, what triggered you
talk
there?
For the people here.
There's a scene in the.
So my brother Matthew Marty, he loves film.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's a scene in the 9th Fast movie where Jason Momoa literally he like jumps in there. He's like,
here we go.
And then fucking gets in the car and drives off. I'm flashing the clip on the screen right now.
He's
perfect in post production.
He's channeling his Joker in that. I think he acts very much like what the Joker does in that. With a lot of things like the Jack Nicholson for the Joker. It's pretty, he's really good. He's very entertaining.
It's funny with the Fast movies. I love them just from the entertainment value at this point. But like, I think Vin Diesel knows like they don't take themselves seriously at this point, which I think they know that, which is great.
Like when they brought The Rock in there, and
like,
then,
come on,
and then
Jason Statham.
And then they went to space with Tyrese Gibson and Ludacris. Get out of here. Space?
Like the first like one or two movies were super grounded, kind of gritty.
Yeah, right.
Acting was better. Like, yeah, and Paul Walker being undercover, calling people cuz. Or like it's like, oh wow, this is kind of like, this is good. It's good drama, but then like the drama, it's almost like a meme or parody of itself.
Yes.
Family. We never leave out family.
Oh, that is good stuff.
I just love we had a side Vin Diesel Fast and Furious
And as
conversation.
we're talking about film and movies, I have just now realized that the Christmas horror is a genre.
It's
of
yeah,
movies.
it's a legitimate
I never realized
subgenre
that
now.
until I saw it.
It's a legitimate subgenre now.
Watched the one about 2 weeks ago with since we were talking about wrestling.
Yeah.
It was with Goldberg was in there. Goldberg. It was. You know which one I'm talking about?
You must spit his drink out off camera. Marty's losing it. Marty's usually the most composed in the studio. This is fucking hysterical.
I watched that.
Well, yeah, no, you got to give the recap, please.
It was great. I'm trying to think of what it was even called. What was it? Was the idea of it was that he was like the son of Satan, and he had for 100 years, you know, he lost a bet, and he had to do good things as Santa, which
Marty, what was the one with Mel Gibson that came out a couple years ago?
With Mel Gibson?
He was playing like Christmas. He was playing like Saint Nick.
Yes, I saw that one as well.
That was good. It was bad, but it was good.
Yeah, it's where the kid got the coal. He got the coal,
Yes,
and so he
and then,
hired
like,
the
it was
hitman to go get
revenge.
Santa.
Yes.
He hired the hitman to
Yes.
take out Santa.
I forget what that movie's called, but the one with Goldberg is called Santa's Sleigh.
Slay, Slay, right?
I love it.
Oh man. Yeah, did not realize that was a genre until just now, and I'm thinking, I said, man, that is great. There are a lot in there to choose from.
Watching film is one way I tune out from the day to day. I watched Bruno last year 80 movies. throughout the year. More, but like 80 movies, like start to finish.
Wow.
Where
okay.
I'll watch like 1 or 2 a week. Otherwise, like there's some nights like I'm on my laptop 10, 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, nope. Chill out. Turn your brain off a little bit. Stop thinking about this. Throw on a movie. Sometimes it's like Santa's Sleigh. Other times it's maybe more of a gripping indie drama. It's a matter of what I'm feeling at the time.
Santa's sleigh. It's just crap.
I need to go check that out this weekend now.
It's definitely worth some good laughs. That is for sure. But I will say one of my favorite movies of all time, Happy Gilmore. And it's
We were talking about
goofy. I
Shooter
love
McGavin
Happy
earlier.
Gilmore.
You're gonna get it, Bobby. It's something about those early Adam Sandler comedies, like they just age so well in terms of the script writing and delivery. Like they're just super witty.
Yes. Yeah, they are. They definitely are.
I mean, the premise of that, a washed up hockey player is going to lose his grandmother's home. And if you know anything about the real estate business and estate sales, it makes no sense why his grandmother's going to lose her home. She should have lost it 20 years prior. If you actually know anything about estate sales, like it's erroneous, the premise of it. And then like the grandma's all frail and he's like, oh, I don't know how to raise the money. And then like the former pro Chubbs, R.I.P. Carl Weathers.
Yes.
He's like, discovers this guy and he could sling the club. And it's freaking hilarious.
But what cracks me up about that is that literally what you see at most of these golf courses now on these tours, it's basically like what you saw in
Especially out in Phoenix, Scottsdale
Phoenix
area.
at the Waste Management Open. Yes.
Well, they say they might change that because apparently it got super rowdy
Well,
this
a
year.
lot of the golfers this year even got.
They were complaining like it's getting kind of erroneous.
beyond.
Even
yes.
the young guys, like
Yeah,
who
it's
are like thought it
beyond.
was cool, like nah. And I get it, but no, literally the clips I saw were like clips out of Happy Gilmore.
Well, because it's now expanded. For a while there, it was just like the last 3 holes. They'd make a turn and they come around the last 3
Whereas,
holes.
like, it's
They
a
were
party
little
for
par
that.
threes. But now.
The whole
I
thing.
mean, it's almost the whole thing.
Yeah, and
it's
can't
almost the
have
whole
that.
thing. And I mean,
Golf, you can't have that.
Yeah, they're anticipating that. They're like, okay,
Unless
we're
you
coming in.
actually have Happy Gilmore on tour.
Yes, but so it might be getting a little bit much now, but they do still lay claim to the loudest hole in golf, though, which is pretty cool. I wouldn't mind getting out there for that here one of these times. But
I love that area. I went to Phoenix, Scottsdale for the first time in October. I'm ready to be a snowbird by 35, man. Live out there 2-3 months out of the year. I know you travel quite a bit.
well, that's where my parents are. My parents are in they're in Tucson, and the reason being is because my dad's a golfer, and he found it much easier. It's a little bit more cost effective, obviously, in Tucson than it is. But Tucson's cool. I
And
never
he got
knew.
a lot of golfing,
and he's
just
got
in and around there.
and he's got a lot of golf. He can get out anytime he wants because it's not as crowded.
Almost any day, too. It's like their winter is essentially over, and it's like heating up to 80-some degrees next week.
Yeah.
At the time of this
But what I
recording.
didn't realize about Tucson is they have so many resorts. It's supposed to be like the honeymoon capital of the country for some reason. There are resorts.
I wouldn't think
all over the
Tucson,
place.
but it is a nice place.
Oh yeah, it is nice.
I just like the area in
It's
general.
a little more western than Phoenix area, but it's cool. I like it. It's only about an hour and a half. This has been great, man.
I had a lot of
This
fun.
has been. I didn't know what to expect to a degree, but I mean, this has been great. This has been a good,
It's a happy
easy,
hour
laid back
conversation.
conversation. This is a lot of fun, and I will tell you the chuckling and the
That's not gonna get edited out. To me, this adds its flavor to the show. You gotta have fun, because you've seen it, I've seen it. There's some good platforms out there, but it's too stuffy.
The way I
and
figured is
canned.
if we didn't get you to chuckle or laugh at all,
We actually were good.
Must be doing
We're
something,
good.
Must be doing something wrong. You know what I mean? If we can't get a laugh out
When
of
it's
you,
just-
at least
we
anything.
gotta have fun with these.
Yes, but this is really good, man. And this is and I'm looking forward to seeing some of your other guests and seeing when you drop
be
these
really
things.
cool.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
Bruno, it's a pleasure having you on.
absolutely, my friend. I appreciate it.
We'll have to do it
And,
again.
yes, indeed. Good. Very good.
Absolutely. Take care.